Hey there, this is Tiff from Tiffany Mika podcast, and welcome to this week's Lessons Learned. Now, as you are well aware, the lessons learned is lessons that I share that I've learnt throughout the week. Something that's had a big impact for me, or something that's come up for someone that I've coached or had a conversation with that has been impactful for them. So this week's Lessons Learned is actually my lessons learned, and let's get into it. So lesson one learned for this week is being an eagle. And what do I mean by being an eagle? Well, you would have heard the episode that I spoke about, and I was talking about how burned out I became around Easter time. I actually felt quite ill in the stomach. Food I was eating, it wasn't agreeing with me, and so on. But what actually came of that was, it was like, Tiff, my body was actually saying, have a break, right? You burn out, you're trying all these things, need to step away and just stop. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to step away. I can't keep functioning the way I am. I've hit burnout. Let's take a worldview look. Let's get up there like an eagle. Let's fly up above the earth, and let's actually have a look and see what's going on. I love eagles. I love their wingspan. I love the way they glide through the sky. It's magical, absolutely magical. And so I went, you know what? I'm going to fly up above my world like an eagle, and I'm going to check out what's going on, because I need to make some changes. It's got me to this point, and you've heard me talk about it in previous episodes. It's got me to this point, but you know what? It's time I've got to actually have a really good look, and I don't want to keep doing the same things of what I'm doing. I want to make sure that I don't get into this same position in, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks from now. So let's have a look. So what I did was I actually had a look at my life, and I actually looked at my life in categories. And so what I did was I divided my life up into categories. So I have longevity, which is really about like health and nutrition and all of that kind of thing. Evolving, that's really my category on life, about growth. Lifestyle, that's really my vision and my habits and how I want to operate. My husband, like, he's got his own separate category. The home and what we want to have in the home and what we want to do and the roles and so on. The mafia, I call it, which is my family, my extended family, nieces, parents, everything. And the treasure, right? The treasure is the money, right? The finances. And so what I did from that was, like, in each area, I actually broke it down. So, and looked at actually how each area operated. So if we look at, really break down each category in your life, well, what does longevity mean? So I'll give you an example. So longevity is my nutrition, fitness, sleep, self-care, self-expression, and there's all these little components out of that. And I was really looking at, okay, well, what part of that, is that all working well, or do I need to make sure that each part, the subcategories, are working efficiently? Am I putting the right nutrition in my body? Do I need to change my fitness regime? What about my sleep? How's my sleep patterns going? Self-care, am I really looking after myself and having downtime and rest time and doing different things, and am I really achieving the self-expression? Am I going away on adventures and playing the sports I want to play and doing all of that kind of thing? So I was really dividing it up and really looking at each area. Another example I'll give you, evolving, which is really the growth. So I was looking at mindset and the knowledge and what I need to know and share, and my power circle and my my spiritual side and so on, right? So I was really looking at that, and I really wanted to look at each category, because if I looked at how each category actually operated, then I could work out how I really wanted my life to run and the way that I wanted my life to run, and then I could work out what I really wanted to focus on and what was the purpose for each category, and then I could work out the strategies that were to make it happen, really for the things of what I wanted to achieve out of each category. And then it was whether, there's specific things that I'd work on daily or weekly or and so on. So I really looked at it in a much deeper level, because I was like, well, Tiff, what's the point of working so hard? And I keep working really hard if I'm not really looking after myself. I've really got to make sure that I'm spending the time to really be aware of each category in my life is actually operating in the way it needs to be. And this is taking work out of it. This is just my life. Okay? It's got nothing to do with the work side of things at this stage, because that's another piece, another whole different area. But what I needed to do was actually look at what am I achieving in my life, because I have my perfect day all mapped out of what I want. But I was like, well, why aren't I doing that now? There's certain things that I could do in it that I could do right now, but I'm not doing them. And why aren't I doing them? I don't know. Why am I not doing them? Because when I've achieved what it is that I want to achieve, then I'll do it. But I was like, you know what? I won't do it, because I'll find something else. The time is now to do the things that I want to do, not wait. What am I waiting for? I can start creating my perfect life now, because if I start working on creating my perfect life now, guess what? My perfect life is going to happen much quicker, because I'm putting those pieces in place. So let's have another look at longevity, right? So I'm going to give you an example. So longevity, I had like fitness, nutrition, sleep, self-care, self-expression. So let's have a look at fitness, right? The subcategory fitness. So what I looked at is when I was training at the gym, how early, because if you've been listening to me for a while, you're very aware that I get up at 4:00 in the morning and go to the gym. I was like, is that really beneficial for me to do that? Getting up at 4, I'm tired right now, I'm burnt out. Is it the wise thing to do? How much cardio do I need to really be working on? What type of strength exercises, stretching, balance, everything? What is it that I need to make sure that I'm really focused on? And then break it down into what I needed to do each day on each specific area, and then build the plan, so to speak, right? Set it up and put it in place. I was like, okay, these are the things that I need to make sure that how I'm operating. Now, exciting times ahead, because we're coming into winter. So if you're in Australia, you're coming to winter, southern hemisphere. If you live in the northern hemisphere, lucky you're going into summer. I love summer. I love spring. I love summer and parts of autumn. Not a massive fan of winter, but you know what? Since I've started to learn how to ski, which was a couple of years ago, I can't wait for winter, because guess what? Get to go skiing. So we've got a skiing trip coming up in about 3 months. So guess what the focus is going to be on over these next 3 months? Making sure that I'm ski fit, all right? So the things that I need to make sure that I've got strength in my legs, I've got good balance, and I've got to put that in the training over these next few months. So the lesson here is for you is to make sure you're taking that time out and getting a world view, right? Be an eagle, soar up into the air, spread those wings out, those massive wings, and fly around and have a look and see how your life is actually operating. Because you need to know what's actually going on, because in order for life to work the way that you want to work it, then it may be time for you to restructure it. So that was lesson 1. Lesson 2, understanding the pieces of life. So this is really connecting with the first one. The first one's about being an eagle, but we're just taking it and expanding it a little bit further and understanding the pieces of life. And what we're really doing is we're looking at each piece. Like I said, each category And we're looking at how the categories are set up so that each part is working to its potential. That's what we want to make sure it's doing. Not that it's working like at a low level. We have each category of our life is actually working to its potential. And if it's not working at its potential, then we need to understand what's actually missing, and then we need to work out how to fix that. So here's another example of a category, my lifestyle. And my lifestyle is really around my time, but it creates my lifestyle. So my lifestyle is my vision, right? My lifestyle is my planning. My lifestyle is my research and development about, I call it discovery, learning about things to make me more efficient, effective, help you to make you more efficient and effective. The habits, the routines that I put in place. And what I need to do is I really needed to have a look at this particular area, as I did with everything, but I wanted to have a look at this area because I was like, I'm still not where I want to be. I've got this lifestyle that I want to lead, but I'm still not there yet. So what's missing? So I kept hitting burnout, which means if I keep hitting burnout, that means something's not right. That means that I'm actually not managing myself correctly. So is it the fact that I'm not planning myself properly, like I'm not managing myself correctly, and that's the reason that it's not working? Is it the fact that my habits are not working the correct way, or do I need to change those habits, or are the habits working okay? Or is it the discovery, like my research and my development, is that not working for me? So I was like, okay, well, let's have a look at that. How could I make that better? So I was looking at my morning routine and my evening routine, specific habits that I do to get me started for the day and so on. I was like, okay, let's make some changes there, because my morning routine was taking a long time and I was actually feeling quite mentally exhausted from it. So I've swapped it and changed it around. And I've created, a hypnosis recording so that I can listen to it at night with all my dreams and desires and everything that I want to accomplish, my standards, my beliefs, everything that I want to accomplish in my life. I'm listening to it at night instead of reading it out each day, right? So that I'm more mentally alert and ready to get into what I want to get into. So my evening routine was not as efficient as I would like it. So I want to make sure that I'm going to bed at the time that I designate. I have good rest so that I can get up at 4 o'clock in the morning so I'm alert and ready to tackle the day so I can go and do my training session. Am I planning myself out properly? What is it that I need to evaluate? What questions do I need to ask? What's really frustrating me? Do I need to change my weekly schedule around? Do I need to change the way in which I operate at the gym and get up and get ready to go to the gym? Do I need to change my work structure? You know what? You bet. I've created a lot of changes over this past week of what I am implementing, and I'm implementing them this week. So, for example, I have a recording day in which I record all my episodes. And you may have heard me talk about that I've made some changes in how many recordings I'm going to do for the Reach Your Potential with Tiff podcast and how many recordings I'm going to do for the Tiffany Mika podcast, right? Made some changes, implementing that this week. Also, when I'm recording, so I'll do my recordings on a specific day. Well, the day that I was doing it, that's not working for me. I need to make sure that the day that I'm doing that I was doing it previously, I need to change that day because I need to spend more time on how I'm going to market the business and build the business. I need to put more time and energy into that. The recording time, well, let's move that to a different day. Let's see how that works. I'm going to test that out over the next few weeks, the next quarter. I know my vision is awesome, right? Because I know exactly what I want. But is it the planning or the scheduling or the execution? Does that need refining? Because I know what I want, but how am I going to get there? What are the things that I need to make sure that I change and adapt? What habits do I need to refine? Right? So if you look at that and you start looking at, okay, I've got to take a world view, I've got to put my life into categories and do all that kind of thing, and you start looking at that, you're taking a world view, aren't you? You're taking a look at your life. So what I want you to do is I want you to be thinking, okay, well, let's take a look. Let's fly up like an eagle. And let's take a world view. Let's have a look at what's actually going on below me. What's not working? Because there's no point in doing the same old stuff over and over again if you're getting the same results. It needs to be different. What you need to be doing needs to be different so you're getting the different results, the ones that you're after. How do you know if you make changes that it's going to be right? Well, some of it is if you listen to people that have gone before you and have tested things out and going, okay, if you do this, this, and this, you're going to get this. Do that. But what if you don't know and you haven't got anyone to listen to? Test it. But you need to test it out over a period of, I believe, at least 8 weeks to get an idea of what's actually happening. You may be able to identify some things might work quite quickly, some things may take longer, especially habits and routines and so on. But you don't really know if something's right until you test it out. Like I said, I've been testing things out over these last quarter. You know what? There's certain things that are working, certain things that are not. Let's make some changes. And I'll give you an example. Like the last month, throughout April, I decided to go vegetarian. I've done it before. I was just finding I was going off meat. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to have a lot of plant-based proteins and I'm going to do it that way. And I'm not going to have any meat. I'm not going to have any animal-based proteins. I'm just going to have plant-based proteins. And I did it for a month. But you know what? What I discovered was that it didn't work for me because I was starting to feel lightheaded. I was running out of energy. I was tired. Didn't feel right in my gut. So I was like, okay, you know what? That's not working for me. Let's make some changes. Let's go back to protein. I don't have to have, meat protein every single day, but I probably need to make sure that I'm having it maybe once, possibly once a day, or, worst case scenario, once every 2 days. But making sure I'm still having plant-based proteins and so on. So I'm like, okay, well, that's what I need to make sure that I'm doing. Let's test that out. Let's see what happens there. And I can tell you over the last week, instantly better. I'm much more alert. I'm not feeling so tired. I don't feel so lightheaded. And the other thing is, okay, let's track my protein intake. Let's see how much protein I'm taking in each day. And let's track my calories so I get a better understanding of how my body operates. So I hope you enjoyed those 2 lessons today. I hope you got a lot of value out of those 2 lessons and that's really helped you. I'd love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard today. If you've got just 30 seconds to spare, I would really appreciate if you could leave me a 5-star review wherever you hear this episode. And if you've got friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, I'd love it too if you could share these episodes with your friends so that we could build the Reach Your Potential with Tiff community as big as we possibly can, because I want you to dream big, believe in you, and go after your dreams. Have an awesome day. Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.